Have you ever gazed upon someone and just felt it? That undeniable current, a profound presence, a quiet intensity that commands respect without ever needing to utter a single boastful word. Others might whisper, "It's luck." They'll quickly rationalize, "It was just good timing," or that these rare, formidable individuals were simply born with an unfair advantage, something inherently special, something you, by cosmic oversight, somehow missed. But what they will never truly see, what remains hidden from the world's superficial gaze, are the countless, solitary hours you've poured into yourself, fighting silent, brutal wars within the most sacred chambers of your own mind. They won't witness those pre-dawn moments when you rise, bone-weary, perhaps even trembling, with nothing but a burning vision in your soul and an unshakable, visceral decision not to surrender to the comfort of the covers. They will effortlessly overlook the quiet, defining moments where your spirit could have shattered into a million pieces, where every fiber of your being screamed for you to break, to give up. But somehow, miraculously, you held on. You didn't break. You stood firm. If that speaks to something real in you, there's just one simple free favor I'll ask. Hit that subscribe button. Let's begin. Number 1. The genesis of inner power. This profound inner power, this unyielding core that anchors you, isn't some chance discovery you stumble upon in the haphazard chaos of life. It is not magically bestowed. It is not simply gifted, and it certainly isn't passed down through generations like an inheritance. True inner power is meticulously built, deliberately, painstakingly, forged in the crucible of your own profound, unyielding silence. It is shaped by unwavering discipline, honed in the depths of intentional solitude, and mercilessly tested in the most profound, disorienting darkness. You do not passively attract clarity, strength, or peace by simply waiting for them to appear like fleeting shadows. You draw them into the very essence of your being by courageously becoming the kind of person to whom they intrinsically belong, to whom they are magnetically drawn. And when your mind is truly trained, when it is sharpened to an exquisite surgical edge, when it vibrates with conscious intent, the very world around you begins to respond, not by some random twist of fate, but because you have fundamentally, irrevocably, transformed what you powerfully radiate into existence. This journey isn't about crossing a single distant finish line, a point of arrival where effort ceases. It's about locking into a profound, almost rhythmic frequency of being. It's a quiet hum, imperceptible to the hurried masses, but once you truly feel it, once it resonates deep within your soul, you can never, ever ignore its compelling call. Inner power does not reveal itself in one dramatic flash, like a sudden burst of lightning illuminating the night sky. It builds slowly, meticulously, layered through tireless, deliberate repetition, through an unyielding, consistent discipline, through a clarity that absolutely refuses to waver, refuses to dim, even when the ground beneath your feet becomes profoundly uncomfortable, even when chaos reigns supreme. Imagine tuning a magnificent grand piano, not for a fleeting, ephemeral melody, but for absolute, uncompromising precision, so that every single note, every deliberate movement you make, lands with an undeniable, resonant intention, striking perfectly true. You shape your mindset in precisely the same way, a constant, meticulous refinement. No need for grand, theatrical gestures, just steady, unwavering hands, working on something so deeply personal, so utterly internal, so sacred, that no one else can ever truly see its intricate construction. The most transformative changes, the ones that shift your entire reality, are often entirely invisible at first. The rushing, often distracted world will not witness those defiant, early mornings you conquer, those intricate mental realignments you make within your own thoughts, or the countless small, quiet, yet monumental decisions you take each day to fiercely maintain control over your inner landscape. But these seemingly insignificant actions stack. They accumulate, they compound, they build into an undeniable force. And one day, the undeniable results of your quiet, relentless dedication will speak louder than any explanation, any excuse, or any justification you could ever offer. They will simply be. Number 2, mastering your inner world. To truly hold that kind of power, to remain profoundly, irrevocably grounded in its essence, you must anchor yourself to one fundamental, undeniable truth that cuts through all illusion. Your mind is not your enemy. But understand this deeply. It is wild, it is boundless in its potential, it is immensely intelligent, and it is capable of either meticulously building your most magnificent, desired future, or utterly shattering it into fragmented dust. Left untamed, left to its own devices, it instinctively drifts toward fleeting comfort, distracting noise, and paralyzing, self-sabotaging fear. But when consciously trained, when sharpened with an unwavering intention, it transforms into a formidable shield, a guiding compass, an undeniable force that leads you forward with absolute, unwavering certainty. As the profound Carl Jung so wisely articulated, with timeless wisdom, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. And that, tragically, is the stark, often painful reality for the vast majority, living out silent scripts dictated by an untrained mind, mistakenly believing they are merely subjects of an unchangeable, predetermined destiny. This is precisely why your very first, most crucial move each day isn't an outward one, consumed by the world's demands. It is a sacred inward journey. Before the world's clamor floods in, before the opinions of others attempt to sway your course, before you step into someone else's desperate urgency, you must meet yourself, quietly, directly, with honest intention. You are the sovereign architect of your day's energy, choosing not what the world expects or demands, but what you know, deep within your core, is profoundly aligned with your soul's authentic purpose. There is no waiting for fleeting motivation to arrive, no chasing elusive inspiration as if it were a whimsical muse. You move because you have profoundly, consciously chosen to move. You build because it is who you are now, a fundamental shift in your very being. This is no longer mere reaction to external stimuli. This is conscious, deliberate design of your life. This transformative journey is not about wearing a mask, pretending everything is fine, forcing a fake smile, or repeating hollow affirmations you don't genuinely believe deep within your heart. It's about becoming rigorously precise, fiercely focused, and deeply aligned with your highest self, much like the ancient Stoic masters who found strength in chaos. Marcus Aurelius, in the very heart of imperial chaos, did not passively wait for the world to calm before choosing virtue. He practiced it relentlessly amidst the very storm, a beacon of inner strength. Inner power is not about wistfully wishing for an easier path, a less arduous journey. It is about decisively choosing who you are, defining yourself, even when everything around you seems to be violently crumbling, falling apart at the seams. You do not beg the world for respect. You stop waiting for arbitrary signs. You stop desperately hoping someone else will choose you, validate you, or hand you the permission you already possess. Instead, You courageously become a force the world simply cannot ignore. Not because you are loud, not because you seek external attention, but because your very presence carries an undeniable, profound, unshakable weight. That kind of powerful magnetic presence begins with something most people entirely bypass in their hurried existence: identity. Plato, with his timeless wisdom, declared, "The first and best victory is to conquer self." That, my friends, is the true epic battle, the internal struggle that shapes your destiny. Every single belief you hold, every conviction you cling to, is either sharpening your direction with surgical precision, making you more effective, or subtly, insidiously, dangerously dulling your edge, eroding your potential. And identity isn't some chance discovery you stumble upon in the dark. It is something you painstakingly build with unwavering clarity, with persistent, deliberate effort, with every fiber of your conscious intention. Day by day, thought by thought, habit by habit. Are you merely trying to survive, to endure, to just get by? Or are you here to consciously, purposefully build something magnificent that transcends your current limitations? Because the difference, my friends, is absolutely monumental. One waits, one reacts, forever bound by circumstance. The other, the true architect of their destiny, decides. Most people never pause long enough to truly notice the default story they are unconsciously living in. They act as if they are hopelessly stuck, trapped, yet they have never even bothered to look at the script that dictates their actions. It was written years ago, perhaps by primal fear, by pervasive societal conditioning, or by someone else's limiting, suffocating idea of what's truly possible for you. Number 3, the power of conscious cultivation. So let me offer you something profoundly real, a question that cuts to the core of your being. What are you truly feeding your mind when no one else is around to witness it, when you are alone with your thoughts? Is it a constant barrage of external noise, or the profound sanctuary of internal silence? Is it shallow, fleeting distraction, or deep, resonant introspection and self-awareness? Are you allowing the corrosive comparison and bitter complaint to take root, subtly convincing yourself you're already behind, already lacking, already insufficient? Or are you consciously, deliberately planting thoughts that powerfully propel you forward, that steady your spirit, that relentlessly remind you of who you truly are when the world desperately tries to make you forget your greatness? Carl Jung once declared, with profound insight, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." Most people remain perpetually asleep, even with their eyes wide open, because they are constantly gazing outward, chasing arbitrary timelines, external opinions, and fleeting, insignificant trends. But none of that, not a single piece of it, was built for you. It was meticulously constructed to distract you from the essential, sacred work of building yourself, your own masterpiece. If your mind is perpetually tuned to what everyone else is doing, thinking, or posting, you will inevitably forget your own powerful why, your own unique purpose. You will drift. And that drift, my friends, is perilous, leading you further and further from your true north. You are not here to merely consume someone else's story. You are here to write your own magnificent narrative, etched in the annals of your life. And it all begins with what you consciously choose to allow into the sacred space of your mind. Not every voice deserves your precious attention. Not every fleeting comment is worth your finite energy. You do not need to frantically track every trend to stay profoundly aligned with your deepest, most authentic purpose. Real clarity is found in relentless, courageous filtering, Real focus comes from choosing, from deciding with absolute conviction what gets to occupy space in your head and what gets cut out completely, without hesitation, without regret. That, my friends, is where true, unyielding power originates, not in the blazing spotlight of public recognition, but in the profound, quiet solitude of your inner world. When no one is watching, when it's just you and the symphony or cacophony of your own thoughts. That is the moment that transcends all others. That is the proving ground where true character is forged, where resilience is tempered. When it's infinitely easier to scroll aimlessly, to seek mindless distraction, but you choose to stay still, to be present, to engage with yourself. When it's tempting to complain, to wallow in self-pity, but you choose to courageously correct your course, to pivot towards growth. That's the work. And it may not look like much to the outside world. It may seem insignificant, but within you, for your soul, it is absolutely everything. Your mind is like incredibly fertile soil, far more potent and responsive, far more capable of growth than most people ever realize. Every single thought you entertain, every fleeting idea, is a seed, and your emotions, those powerful inner currents, they are the very water that nourishes them, that brings them to life. You are planting seeds every single day, every single moment, even when you're completely unaware of the profound impact of your internal garden. Your mind does not ask if what you're planting is good for you, if it serves your highest good, if it aligns with your purpose. It simply grows what you consistently feed it, what you water with your emotions. That's why so many individuals find themselves hopelessly stuck in patterns they never intentionally created, trapped in cycles they long to escape. It wasn't a deliberate, malicious choice, but it was profoundly consistent. And what you do consistently without fail ultimately becomes who you are, shaping your very identity. But here, my friends, is the monumental opportunity, the beacon of hope. Once you become profoundly conscious of this truth, once you truly grasp its power, you can shift everything. You can plant on purpose, with conscious intent. You can consciously feed your mind with unwavering clarity, instead of soul-crushing chaos. You can bravely choose strength over debilitating stress, clear, decisive direction over maddening distraction, and an undeniable vision over deafening noise. Ask yourself, with brutal honesty and unwavering self-reflection, are you relentlessly reinforcing discipline within yourself or insidious hesitation? Are you meticulously building a mindset that confidently leads, that guides you towards your destiny, or one that perpetually waits, hesitantly reacts, and meekly allows life to happen to it? Number 4, the art of true decision. But what does it truly, deeply mean to decide? True decision isn't merely about choosing between option A or option B, a casual preference. It is a profound commitment, a full body, no turning back, visceral declaration that emanates from the deepest part of your being. It is drawing an unwavering line in the sand and proclaiming with every fiber of your being, this is where it ends. That old, lesser, weak version of me does not cross this point into my glorious future. As Aristotle profoundly articulated, with timeless wisdom, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And knowing yourself also means, brutally, honestly knowing which parts of you no longer belong in the magnificent future you are meticulously building. So, who needs to go? Not in a dramatic public farewell, but in the most honest, authentic way possible, within the confines of your own soul. The version of you that overthinks instead of taking bold, decisive action. the one that desperately clings to comfort and falsely labels it patience, disguised as virtue. The one that meekly folds under pressure and then meticulously spins a convenient story to explain away its failures. That version simply cannot lead. It cannot bear the immense weight of true vision. It cannot survive, let alone thrive, in the elevated environment you are destined for. So you bravely let it go. You bury it deep beneath new, unyielding standards. You replace it with patterns that perfectly match your purpose, that resonate with your highest self. Not because it's easy, because it rarely is, but because staying the same, remaining stagnant, is no longer an acceptable option for your growth. And what remains when you undertake this profound self-purging, this act of courageous letting go? Pure stillness, unyielding strength, profound simplicity. The trained mind does not spiral into debilitating doubt or chase every fleeting emotion as if it's an urgent, life-or-death command. It doesn't pause to question every genuine impulse or justify its own unnecessary delays. It moves with calm, unwavering conviction, a quiet power. It knows precisely what needs to be done, and it simply does it. Not recklessly, not rushed, but deliberately, with purpose, because it has been conditioned through relentless consistency, not by fickle, fluctuating emotion. Motivation is not a prerequisite. Movement itself creates the momentum. You do not sit idly by, waiting for the perfect state of mind to descend upon you. You move, you initiate, and your mind, like a loyal companion, naturally follows, aligning itself with your action. The readiness you seek, the perfect state, shows up only after you have already begun. That, my friends, is true power. Not energy that only reveals itself when it feels good, when conditions are perfect, but ironclad discipline that kicks in precisely when it absolutely does not feel good, when every fiber of your being resists. Number 5. Building the new reality. To be the kind of person who acts from a place of deep-seated identity, from who they truly are, not from fleeting impulse or external pressure, Socrates wisely stated, "The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." That, my friends, is precisely what this transformative journey is. You are no longer wrestling with the debilitating ghosts of your past. You are meticulously, courageously constructing your future. One powerful habit, one conscious choice, one quiet, profound internal shift at a time. This is where the true separation occurs, the line drawn in the sand. Dabblers pause. They wait. They depend on their fleeting mood, on external hype, on arbitrary signs from the universe. But dominators, they build in profound silence, with unwavering focus. They do not wait for the world to catch up or for the stars to align in some mystical, predetermined pattern. They simply start, they move, they implicitly trust what they have rigorously trained within themselves, their inner compass. They do not rely on external pushes, on motivators from outside. They run on an internal, unyielding pull, an insatiable drive. Purpose becomes the undeniable engine that propels them forward. And that magnificent self-generated energy, it doesn't just power their movement, it profoundly, spectacularly reshapes their entire reality. Eventually, inevitably, the world around you begins to bend, to shift, not because you violently forced it into submission, but because you became the kind of person it has no choice but to respond to align with. Most people have this fundamental truth completely backwards. They mistakenly believe change starts outside of them. If my environment improves, they reason, then I'll finally focus. If I get enough support, they think, then I'll believe in myself. If everything lines up just right, they endlessly hope, then I'll finally begin. But life, my friends, does not shift for mere wishes or idle dreams. It powerfully responds to standards, the unwavering, non-negotiable benchmarks you set for yourself. Carl Jung, with incredible foresight, reiterated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Meaning, until you bravely raise the silent subconscious standards that are currently running the show in your mind, until you bring them into conscious awareness, your life will continue to follow the exact same limiting script, no matter how desperately you say you want a different one. So take a brutally honest, unwavering look into the depths of your being. What are your current standards truly saying about who you are, what you accept, what you tolerate in your life? Are you still allowing intrusive thoughts into your head that don't even belong to you? Thoughts inherited from fear, from past failures, or from someone else's imposed limitations? Are you still speaking as if you're perpetually on hold, waiting for permission, waiting to feel ready, waiting for some external green light to begin your true life? That entire debilitating mindset needs to be aggressively cut at the root, not questioned, but unequivocally refused, banished from your inner sanctuary. Stop speaking like someone who hasn't even begun, who is merely contemplating. Because the very moment you start speaking from a place of profound, undeniable power, even quietly, you begin to fundamentally shift the entire system around you, the very fabric of your reality. You start rewriting your identity from the inside out, from the deepest core of your being. Say it, and mean it, with every fiber of your being. I'm already in motion. My journey has begun. I am an unstoppable force. Don't talk like a struggling victim trying desperately to keep up with the world. Speak like a builder, someone actively shaping something real, something intentional, a masterpiece of their own making. Don't think like a perpetual skeptic, picking everything apart until you're too frozen by doubt to act, to move forward. Think like an architect, someone who sees magnificent structure in an empty lot, someone who can clearly visualize the final, majestic shape long before a single brick is even laid. That, my friends, is precisely how the profound shift begins. Not with fleeting hype, not with external motivation that wanes with the sun, but with relentless, unwavering repetition, over and over. Not just in what you say, but in every single action you take, every choice you make. What you consistently rehearse in your mind and in your actions becomes what you effortlessly remember, and what you remember becomes what you instinctively, automatically act on. You do not become a new, evolved version of yourself by mere accident, by passive wishing. You deliberately repeat the thoughts that truly serve your highest self. You act on them with unwavering consistency until they are hardwired into your very being, until they become second nature. This isn't some abstract theory. It's not a fleeting mindset hack. This is precisely how your incredible, adaptable brain actually works, how it rewires itself. Each time you choose the thought, the action, the tone, the response that perfectly aligns with the magnificent person you are powerfully becoming, you strengthen a new neural pathway, a new way of being. Over time, that pathway becomes instinct. That's how a new identity gets installed. That's how your glorious future gets meticulously built, one deliberate, powerful groove at a time. The world doesn't change when you merely wish for it. It changes when you change at the deepest levels of thought, belief, and identity. Train your mind, and the rest will naturally, inevitably follow. If this message resonated with the very core of your being, if it ignited a fierce flame of recognition deep within your soul, then I have just one simple yet profoundly powerful request for you: a call to action from one seeker to another. Don't let this moment, this feeling, this realization simply pass you by. Hit that subscribe button right now and join our growing community of individuals committed to forging unstoppable inner power. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What resonated most with you? What's your definition of inner power? Your engagement fuels this mission, and I read every single one. And if you found value in these words, please take a moment to like this video. It helps us reach more souls hungry for this truth. Let's continue to explore these profound truths together, forging stronger minds and living with unparalleled purpose. And if you're ready to go even deeper, to unlock the next level of your transformation, there's another video on your screen right now that I believe will speak directly to your spirit. It delves further into how to practically apply these powerful principles in your daily life. Click it. Thank you for being here, for daring to invest in your highest self, for showing up fully, and for being an integral part of the Stoicism Reborn community. This sacred space is dedicated to those who dare to think deeper, who choose to move slower with intention, and who commit to building stronger, more resilient lives. I'll see you in the next one. Same clarity, same purpose. Stay steady.